move too fast so you don't get it. So I am coming from Ezekiel, the 11th chapter, right? But to be honest with you, in order to really understand the verse that I'm going to be working out of, you really need to go back and read chapters 1 through 10 or chapters 1 through 11. Not verses, but chapters, like full chapters. I know in the 21st century in the church, that's, kind of a hard task for most people to read 11 whole chapters. But I recommend you gather your families and friends and whoever together, and y'all sit down and y'all start from Ezekiel 1 and you work your way all the way up to Ezekiel 11, because it's going to give you all of the context behind chapter 11. So today's message, if you're taking notes, which I recommend you take notes, is sage heart. And we will get into what that means later. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to walk y'all through chapters 2, because 1 is just talking about the vision of Ezekiel and his description of the angelic beings that he's seen when the glory of Yahweh was revealed to him. So I'm going to start at chapter 2 and I'm going to work us up to 11. So I'm going to be moving pretty quickly. I have everything highlighted here. So if you're following along in your Bible, I'm not going to read every single verse. I'm just going to read the ones that I have highlighted that will give us the context behind chapter 11, okay? So I'm starting in chapter 2, Ezekiel chapter 2, right? Verse 1. So it says, son of man, he said, I am sending you. So first of all, let me give you some context behind Ezekiel. Ezekiel started his, his ministry. He started out working into in the church, similar to like a priest. And then when they went into exile, God called him to be a watchman over the Israelites. So the Israelites were exiled from their homeland, and now they are in Babylon. So this whole context that we're talking about is the Israelites being in Babylon, which is the southern part of the tribe. You have the northern part, which was captured and taken over by the Assyrians, and then you have the southern part, the Judea, which is now in exile in Babylon. Exile means that you was forced from your homeland to a place. So they was originally in their homeland, they got forced out, now they're in Babylon. So they are exiles in Babylon. So, son of man, I am sending you to the nation of Israel, a rebellious nation, and they have rebelled against me. And their ancestors has been rebelling against me to this very day. They are stubborn, they are hard-headed, they are hard-hearted people. And I am sending you to say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says. And whoever listen or refuse to listen, remember, they are rebels. At least they will know that I have sent them a prophet. So here again, we're dealing with these Israelites. And if y'all have been reading your Bible, you can see a pattern here. And the pattern is that the Israelites are very rebellious people. They deal with a lot of immoral things. They deal with a lot of idolatry. Right? The Israelites are people that it doesn't matter who Yahweh sends to them, they never listen. They never obey his words. They continuously live in a life of rebellion, a life of disobedience, a life of whatever they want to do. And remember, this month we're talking about the heart. So all of these things that we hear about the Israelites, these are matters of their own heart. Right? So he's telling Ezekiel, I'm going to send you to these people, but they're not going to listen to you. But I'm going to do it anyway, because when I destroy them, I don't want no excuses that I didn't send nobody to them again. So I'm sending you, Ezekiel, right? So then as we move on, say you must give them the messages whether they listen or not. But they won't listen, for they are completely rebellious. Son of man, listen to what I say to you. Do not join them in their rebellion. Open your mouth and eat what I give you. So Yahweh is telling them, when you go there, don't get involved with their complaining. Don't get involved with the stuff that they're saying and the stuff that they're doing and the worshiping of their other gods and all of this other stuff, the immoral things that they engaging in, all of these different activities. Don't be a part of that. So what he's telling them is, you can be amongst the people, but don't be the people. The same way you hear people saying, be in the world, but not of the world, it's the same concept. go there, be amongst the people, but don't be the people. Don't do what they do, don't say what they say, because these are rebellious people and they disobedient, and the stuff that they do go against me. So if you be a part of that, you putting yourself in the same position and lining yourself up for this same destruction. Right? So he says, then I'll look, right? So now he says, open your mouth, Ezekiel, because I'm going to give you something to eat. Right? Then he say, then I looked and I saw a hand reaching out to me. It held a scroll, which unrolled, and I saw both sides. It was covered with funeral songs, words of sorrow, and the pronouncement of doom. So on this scroll that Yahweh is going to feed Ezekiel is three things on this scroll. It's the songs of sorrow, the pronouncement of doom, right, and words of sorrow. So funeral songs, words of sorrow, and the pronouncement of doom is on this scroll, right? So then it says, the voice said to me, son of man, eat it. I am giving you this. Eat the scroll. Then go and give the message to the prophets of Israel, to the people of Israel, So I opened my mouth. This is Ezekiel. I opened my mouth, and he fed me the scroll. Fill your stomach with this, he said. And when I ate it, it tasted sweet like honey in my mouth. So Ezekiel just read a scroll covered front page, back page with songs of funerals, words of sorrow, and the pronouncement of doom. And when he ate it, he said it tasted like honey to him. This is Ezekiel, right? So, no, I'm not sending you to people with a strange, difficult speech. So he said the people that I'm sending you to, it's not foreign people. It's not people that's not going to understand your speech or the vernacular of your words or how you pronounce words or how you use analogies and all this stuff. I'm not sending you to a people that don't understand that, that's foreign to that. I'm sending you people that does understand that. But the thing is, watch this, Ezekiel, if I sent you to foreigners, they would listen to you. But the people that can understand you, the people that go through the same cultural things as you, the people that grew up similar to you, the people that look like you, the people that sound like you, they're going to listen, but they're not going to hear you. Yeah. So I'm sending you to those type of people. So again, we see Yahweh reiterating the fact that they are not going to listen. But I'm still sending you to go. So the thing is, most times our missions is never about the people that we're going to. Ezekiel knew that the people weren't going to listen, but he still valued the will of God over his own will. So he said, then he added, son of man, let my words sink deep into your own heart first. Listen to them carefully for yourself. So these scrolls that you have eaten, all of my decrees, all of my covenants and my promises and my laws and my regulations, like Ezekiel, I need those to sink into your own heart first. So I need you to deal with your own heart first. I need you to deal with your own matters first. And after they sink into your heart and you don't listen to these words carefully, then go to the people that's in exile. So Yahweh set a standard and he told you you need to know, you need to do more than just know the word. I need you to know it. I need you to live it. Then I need you to go and teach it. So you need to know it, live it, and teach it. And now in this century, our ears have been tuned to listen to people that just know it. People that can make these words sound good, but if we was to track their life does not line up with the things that they know. So Yahweh is saying, I don't care about you knowing this. You need to do all three. Know it and live it and teach it. We have to come to a place to where the desires of our heart want to do more than just know of God. We got to get to a place to where we just desire more than just knowing the 23rd Psalms. We desire more than just saying that, oh, I got a church home. I go to church on Sunday. We have to get to a point to where we desire more of just knowing. But now we done got to a place to where we're mature enough to live it. And then if you live in it, because you know it, I guarantee you testifying about it. Because you want other people to do the same thing. So he's setting a standard to Ezekiel. When you go to these people, bro, because you don't think it's some of the people there that know it? They know what the word say, but still doing what they want to do.
Yeah.
And we'll get into it because it's so crazy because they doing these things knowing what the word, because you have to understand a lot of these people, the Jewish people, they knew the word. They knew it. But it was a gap between knowing and doing.
Yeah.
And that gap is what's in your chest.
Yeah, your heart.
That gap is your heart.
Yeah.
Because you know something, but for some odd reason, the desire ain't letting you live it out.
Yeah.
And that's what we got to bring to the table, and we got to deal with that, right? So, it says, so the Spirit lifted me up. So now, Ezekiel is telling us about, he's going to begin to tell us about how Yahweh starts to deal with them through these visions, right? So the Spirit lifted me up and took me away. And I went in bitterness and turmoil, but the Lord hold on me was so strong. So Ezekiel now has the understanding that, bro, these people are not going to listen to you, but you were still required to go.
Yeah.
And if anybody has been in a relationship with God and he's been dealing with you, you understand that there is some things you're going to have to suffer by being the vessel. There are certain things that you're going to carry by being a vessel. That's not going to feel good. That's not going to look good. It's some destruction and some pain and some irritation and some frustration. It's things that you are going to go through by being the vessel. Ezekiel understands this, meaning I'm going to have to go through some stuff because I already know how y'all work. And the thing is, I'm going to go through this for people that ain't even going to listen. So he understands that. But watch this. Him doing the will of Yah was greater than him wanting to do his will. So he still went. Yah had a strong grip on Ezekiel. So we have to get to a place to where we are still acting and doing the will of God, whether we want to or not, whether it feels good or not, whether it sounds good or not. Whether it's one person or 1,000 people, it does not matter. If thus said the Lord, we should be doing. We have to get to that place to where his will trumps everything that's going on in our life. His will supersedes our careers. His will supersedes our desires, our purposes. His will supersedes them ungodly relationships we be tied in. His will supersedes all of that stuff. Whether those nasty things feel good to us or not, his will should override all of that. So Ezekiel has come to this understanding. And then he said, then I came to the colony of Judean exiles at Talabih beside the Kebar River. I was overwhelmed and sat among them for 7 days. So this man is sitting there for 7 days just looking at the people, watching what they're doing. Watching them worship the other gods. Watching them fall into idolatry. Watching them commit all this immoral stuff. Watching the disgusting conversations. He's sitting there just watching this for 7 days and he became overwhelmed. Listen, when you can look at the news and you can look at your Facebook feed and your Instagram feed and that stuff starts to overwhelm you because you know what's going to happen to these people, you're in a good place. Like when sin starts to make you sad and it grieves you, you're in a good place. But watch this. If you can go to bed, sleep comfortably, and let's just make it real intimate, knowing that your family member living the way the Israelites is living, and you okay with that, you're in a bad place. When you can go to bed knowing that you yourself have stuff in your heart that you know you're hiding, or that you think you're hiding, the same way the elders that was in the temple, they thought that they was hiding their idolatry from Yahweh. And you going to bed knowing that you hiding vengeance, knowing that you hiding anger, knowing that you hiding unforgiveness, knowing that you hiding these things in your heart, and you sleeping comfortably, and then wake up and pray to Yahweh about some blessings, you in a bad place. You are in a bad place. So here we go. So then he say, after the 7 days, the Lord gave Ezekiel a message. And he said, son of man, I have appointed you to be the watchman of Israel. Whenever you receive a message from me, warn the people immediately. So when we look at a watchman is no different. Let's just say me and King Carter was going to do a crime. And Nikali is the watchman. So she's sitting out the front. We ain't gonna, let's just say we was robbing a convenience store. We robbing a convenience store, and she the watchman. So she's the person that's supposed to let us know when the police come in, when anybody coming that may mess up the operation we got going on. She's supposed to woo or whatever sign she gonna give to let us know, okay, it's time for us to wrap this up. That's what the watchman is. So Ezekiel was appointed by Yahweh. I'm going to give you visions. I'm going to give you a word. And when I give you this, you go and tell the people. You go and warn the people. Now, later down in the scriptures, he says, whether they listen to it or not, that's not on you. So if I give you a word, though, so if Nikali say, hey, y'all, police, and me and King Carter, we stay in there and keep robbing, and we get busted, that ain't on her. That's on us. But if she say, hey, the police coming and we get the heck from out of them, then she did her part. But watch this. So he said, if you tell the people they listen, cool. If you tell them they don't listen, that's not on you. But if I tell you to do something and you don't tell them and they die, that's on you. So he cleared it up for Ezekiel. So he let Ezekiel know there will be no playing games in this. You are the watchman of the people. So when I say speak, you gotta speak. I don't need to hear. I don't feel like, well, I don't know. They was talking real crazy last time, y'all. No, speak. Because early in the chapter, we see where Yahweh tells Ezekiel, their hand is hard, but I'm going to make your head harder. So he already reassured Ezekiel that he would give him the boldness to be able to deal with the people. Right? So he said, warn them immediately. Then the Spirit came into me, so the Spirit has gotten into Ezekiel and swept him up off his feet, and he spoke to me, and he said, go into your house and shut yourself in. Then, son of man, will you be tied with ropes so that you cannot go out amongst the people, and I will make your tongue so thick that it will stick to the root of your mouth, and you will be speechless and unable to rebuke them, for they are rebels. He said, but when I give you a message, I will loosen your tongue, and I will let you speak. Then you will say to them, this is what the sovereign Lord says, who chose to listen will listen, but whoever refused will refuse because they are rebels. So he told him, go into your house, lock yourself in, and then, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to tie you up because I know you're a human being. And in spite of you locking yourself in, you still might try to tip out. So I'm gonna loosen you up tie you up with these ropes so that you can't go amongst the people. But then I'm also gonna swell up your tongue so that you can't rebuke them. So what does that mean? What that mean again? Be with the people, but don't be with the people, but don't be amongst the people and not the people. Right? That also means too, don't get involved with what they're doing. Since he's regurgitating that again. So he's saying, don't be, them people going to hell. I ain't going to the family function this weekend because all of them sinners anyway. They ain't going to be doing that but drinking and smoking. So what I look like going around there getting involved with that foolishness, that's stupid. Man, I ain't going over there with that girl. She ain't doing nothing but horning around. She talk this dude, that dude. Man, I ain't going to be a part of that. Da, 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 da. All you doing is spewing and spewing and spewing and spewing. And y'all always say, I don't want you to rebuke them. I don't want you to do that. I want you to stay in your house, shut your mouth, and speak when I tell you to speak. That's it. Gave him clear instructions again. Right? So then we move into the sage. A sage is a military style. It's a military, I guess the word would be attack or a formation or a tactic of how a military usually take over a city or country or whatever the case is. And what they do is they surround that territory that they're looking to take over. And what they do is stop anything from coming in and anything from going out. So that means water supply, food supply, clothes, shoes, whatever. The goal of this is to basically turn that place that they got in captive into a famine. And it'll self-destruct from the inside. That's the goal of that sage, right? So here, Ezekiel gets instructions from Yahweh to draw out Jerusalem on a brick. draw it out on a brick. And when you draw Jerusalem, put that brick down and then create a sage around that brick, right? And then what I want you to do, Ezekiel, I want you to lay on your side facing the sage that you just created. And then I want you to put a metal plate in front of you, right? Exemplifying the separation from the people. But he told him to stay in that position for 390 days. Let me give you some context. That's a year and 3 months. Where he had to lay on the same side. And then Yahweh said, I'm going to hold you down so you can't roll over or switch sides. And you got to lay on that side for a whole year and 3 months. Some of us can't even lay in the bed comfortably without rolling around throughout the night. But Ezekiel had to lay on the ground in the same position for a year and 3 months. So, what does that look like? Muscle weakness, bone density loss, circulation problems, skin issues, which some people call bed sores, respiratory issues, digestive problems, because he got to eat on this side, drink on this side, do everything. He cannot move. God has tied him down, right? He cannot move from this place. And he was there for a whole 390 days to represent the years that the people were sinning. And then after those 390 days was up, he told him switch sides and lay on that side for an additional 40 days, which is a month and 10 days. Also for the years of the sins of the people. So again, when I talk about being the vessel, you're going to have to suffer things by being the vessel. So it should really allow us to grow a deeper respect for the people that's teaching, eating, regurgitating, and bringing forth the word to give life to the people that's listening. We should have a higher respect for the people that stay up throughout the wee hours of the night praying for their flock, understanding the word and giving to their flock. We should have a greater respect for those people. So he said, I will tie you down with ropes so you don't be able to turn from side to side until the days of your stage have been complete. Right? So if you continue to read that chapter, it talks about the stuff that starts to go on because of this age. So we got 16, and it says, then he told me, son of man, I will make food very scarce in Jerusalem. It will be weighed out in great care and eaten fearfully. The water will be rationed out, drop by drop, and the people will drink it with dismay. Lacking food and water, people will look at one another in terror, and they will waste away under their punishment. So again, like I said, because nothing is coming in and nothing is going out, what happened when water run out? What happened when food run out? What happened when you can't get clothes? What happened when all of this stuff started happening? What do the people turn to? These are the same people that's already rebellious, that haven't listened, that has been disobedient. What do you think they're going to start doing? They're going to start looking at each other as opportunities. Let's go rob so-and-so family. We know they probably still got 10 more cans of beans in them. Let's go. Oh, you see, he got to go bust him in the head and steal all that. The people starts to go at each other because of the lack of resources. But the funny thing is, when we read this stuff, this should be a reminder to believers that this is going to happen right here in today's world. This is not just a made-up story. So when we start to see this stuff happen and we start to see famine in the United States of America, we really shouldn't be bothered. We really shouldn't be tripping. Now, you should be tripping if you like the Israelites. You got a lot to trip about. Because we're going to get into more of what he did to the Israelites, right? And we start to see this stuff happen and we start to see famine in the United States of America, we really shouldn't be bothered. We really shouldn't be tripping. Now, you should be tripping if you like the Israelites. You got a lot to trip about. Because we're going to get into more of what he did to the Israelites, right? So, the food going to be scarce, the water going to be scarce, the people going to start going after each other. Therefore, this is what the sovereign Lord says. You people have behaved worse than your neighbors, and you have refused to obey my decrees and my regulations. You have not lived up to the standards of the nation around you. So he's telling them, you worse than the people you talk about. You worse than the Hebrew Israelites. You worse than the Hindu. you worse than the Jehovah Witness. You worse than these other nations that's flying in and killing people, doing all. Y'all worse than them. Y'all not even living their standard. Like, they standard a little better than how y'all living. Y'all just living crazy. Therefore, I myself, the sovereign Lord, am now your enemy. So Yahweh has now become the people's enemy. And he said, I will punish you publicly while all the other nations watch. That's why me personally, I don't attach to certain movements because I have no idea if they've been punished by Yahweh. And I refuse to stand up and be yelling about some Black Lives Matter and all this other stuff. And I have no idea if that's Yahweh destroying the people because of their sins. So we need to be way more careful what we be subscribing to, because you have no idea how God is dealing with the people. And you may be standing up praying for God to stop something that he's showing you as his prophecy. I refuse to be a part of that. So if I don't know about it, I ain't being a part of it. Point blank period. So because of your detestable idols, I will punish you like I have never punished anyone before. We in Ezekiel. So we have to remember everything that done happened before this, and then we got to remember all of the stuff that's going to happen after this. And we got to remember what's going to happen to us in Revelation. How he's going to send in Matthew. He said, I'm going to crack the sky, I'm going to send the angels down, and they're going to rip and tell people. So he said, I am not going to punish anyone else as bad as I'm going to punish you. Anyone before or will punish you like I have never punished anyone before or ever will again. Watch this. Parents will eat their own children, and children will eat their own parents. I will punish you and scatter you to the winds, the few who survive. So when I looked at that word eat, right, metaphorically, it's basically saying that kids will destroy their parents and parents will destroy their kids. So basically, we see violence amongst parents and kids. They own children that they gave birth to. We see that right now today when kids kill parents. I just seen something the other day, a grandfather killed his daughter, killed all his grandchildren, called the police and said, I just killed my daughter and all my grandkids. Y'all come here, and when you get here, I'm going to kill myself too. We see this all the time. This ain't nothing. We got to stop seeing this stuff and acting like, oh God, what is going on? He been told you what's going on.
Come on.
But y'all ain't reading. That's why it be shocking to you.
Come on.
Lack of knowledge. My people will pack. Man, this stuff be connected. You got to get in it. It's good. It's going to save you. So your images and your detestable sins. So a third of the people would die in the city from the disease and famine. Right? A third of them will be slaughtered by the enemy outside of the walls. Right? And then I will scatter a third to the winds, chasing them with my sword. Then the last of my anger will be spent, and I will be satisfied. And when my fury against them has subsided, all Israel will know that I am the Lord, and I have spoken to them in my jealous anger. Thou shalt not put no other gods before me. Yes, he reiterates again that I am a jealous God, which means whatever, not just an image that you create, but whatever you put before God is an idol. That means relationships. If you put a relationship before God, that is an idol. I was a part of an idolatry. I was in idolatry in a relationship because I was willing to give up some of the call to make a person happy. I was. And while I was in that situation, I had no idea that that's where I was at with this person. So, and then the same thing when I was in business, trying to aspire to be wealthy, to take care of my family. So I had good intentions, not knowing that it was idolatry, because now I'm worshiping money. Excuse me, I already ran out of air. I'm worshiping money, worshiping people, because I'm looking at the people that already has received or got to this status as everything they say I got to do and follow if I also want to be. That's literally the same standard we're supposed to have with Yahweh. Whatever he said and whatever he do, I'm doing because that's who I want to be like. So we be doing these things not even knowing that you are in idolatry. So whatever it is that you put above him, and that's with your time, that's with your attention, that's with your money, that's with your care. If you putting more attention and time and care and all this stuff into a person, a place, or a thing that is not Yahweh, unfortunately, that's idolatry.
Yeah.
So don't think it's just a statue that people was worshiping. People also was worshiping themselves, because some of us put ourselves before him. I don't care what the church got going on. I'm going on my vacation. I done already paid my money. I done built my plane. I done booked it, blah, 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 and all that good stuff. No commitment to your own ministry, but you committed to yourself. You committed to your little, watch this. You committed to the stuff you write on your little whiteboard, and you worship it every day. Thou shalt have a new car. Thou shalt have 6 figures. Thou shalt have. Yeah, you worship it every day. So this is the importance of open up your own heart and search it. Open up your own heart and search what's really there. So he just told you, I'm going to break the people up in thirds. I'm going to slaughter. And then the ones that's left, right, they're going to be thrown out. Right? So then chapter 6 and 7 is basically Yahweh repeating the fact that he's going to destroy the people and destroy all of these idols as well. So he's reiterating the fact over a course of 2 more chapters, letting you know destruction is coming. This is how I'm going to do it. This is why I'm doing it. So he keep repeating the same thing. Just like today, people keep holding these mics and telling us time is running out. Yahweh is coming back. The sky's going to crack open. It was said in Matthew. Daniel gave us a whole vision of what that time will look like. We keep sitting and hearing all of this about destruction is coming, but we still choosing to live the same exact life. We're no different than the Israelites. No matter what prophet was sent, no matter who sent the message, they did not listen to it. And I'm telling you, you do not want to get caught on the end of God's wrath and destruction. Just because he said, I will never punish a people like I'm punishing y'all, doesn't mean that the punishment ain't going to be bad. Because I don't know about y'all, but there is a vision of Daniel where he talks about these creatures emerging from the ocean and destroying people. This is not no mythical thing. These are real events that's going to take place right here on this earth. And if you thinking that you can see that and be a part of that and deal with it and be able to conquer that, you got another thing coming. So while you got chance, I just talked about whatever your dash is, while you still in that dash, you better get it right now. All right, so let's move on. So now we're going to go to chapter 8, verse 3. It says, he reached out, 12 minutes. So he reached out and he seen the hand that took him by the hair. So now the Spirit snatched Ezekiel by his hair on his head. And the Spirit lifted him up into the sky and transported him to Jerusalem in a vision from Yah. I was taken to the northern gate of the inner court of the temple. So now we are located in a temple in Jerusalem, right? Where there's a large idol that had made the Lord very jealous. So the Spirit has grabbed Ezekiel by his hair and transcended him to Jerusalem inside of a temple. And in that temple, there was an idol there that made Yahweh very, very jealous. Very, very jealous. Right? So he said to Ezekiel, son of man, he said, do you see what they are doing? Do you see the detestable sins of the people of Israel and what they are committing to drive me out of my temple? The temple is the house of Yahweh. And Yahweh does not dwell in filth. So if you have idol worship and immoral things happening in the home of Yeshua, the home of Yahweh, he's not coming there. So when he's saying they're kicking me out of my own temple, it's because of the crap that they're doing in the temple. The things that they are bringing into the temple. And they're doing this stuff in the temple as if he do not see it. As if it does not hurt him. As if it does not make him angry. We act like because he's not hearing a physical person catching us in our acts, that he is not looking at us right now in this very moment. That he don't be looking at us doing that 30 minutes of huffing and puffing. For some people, it's 5.
Come on.
You act like he don't see you.
Come on.
You act like he don't know you.
Come on.
So that's what the people was doing. They was doing it. And they was like, yeah, he done left us, so we can do it. He don't see it. So then the Lord said, son of man, look towards the north. There's an idol there, and he say, son of man, do you see what they're doing? Do you see the detestable sins of the people? But come and you will see even more detestable sins that they are doing. So that was one. He's going to show them a lot more. So then he said, they are committing these sins right here in the temple. So I went in and I saw the walls covered with engravings of all kinds of carvings and crawlings of animals and detestable creatures. I also saw various idols worshipped by the people of Israel. Watch this. 70 leaders of Israel were standing with Jezaniah and Shaphan, the son of Shaphan, in the center. Each of them held an incense burner from which a cloud of incense rose above their heads. So here they are, and back in this time, in those cultures, they had like a little incense holder. It looked like a little teepee, and it had holes in it with chains, and they would carry it, and it would smoke out, and the smoke was coming out and filling up the temple. And this person that they were referring to had already been in trouble with Yahweh for idolatry. So now he's at the center, and these are the leaders of the people of Israel performing these ceremonies and these ceremonies to these other gods. The leaders of Israel. So then he said, the Lord said, son of man, you see what the leaders of Israel are doing with their idols in dark rooms. They are saying the Lord don't see us. He has deserted our land. Then the Lord added, come and I will show you even more. Again, they was doing it thinking they was getting away with it. So they was doing it in secrecy and then showing up in public proclaiming something else. So what that means is you live one way at the house, right, where you think nobody sees it, right? And then when y'all leave the house, y'all get y'all little stories together. Okay, we got to act this way. And then y'all come to public in the church or whatever amongst people and you act a different way. But you act like God ain't seen what you did in private. Yeah. He see it all. Yes. You can't fool him. Come on. Right? So then, he said, he brought them to the north gate of the temple where some women were sitting there weeping for the god of Tammuz. So this God right here, right, is the God of agriculture, so grass and agriculture, the God of fertility, right? And one of the forms of worshiping was weeping. Why was one of the forms weeping? Because this person was, when the grass started dying over the summer, which is just a normal thing, the grass started dying over the summer, they thought that this God had died because he was the God of agriculture and grass and all that stuff. So they thought he had died. So they started weeping in a form of worshiping and mourning his death. So all through the summer, that's what they do. Mourn for this God, right? So all through the year, they good. Then during the summer season, which we're in summer right now, they start crying and mourning and worshiping for this God. So with us, there is a time to mourn. Then some things get to a point to where it's worshiping.
Yeah, come on.
Okay.
Teach us.
One of your family members done gone, but you done created a darn shrine in your house of this person. And every time they come around, you mourning and worshiping, mourning and worshiping, mourning and worshiping. That's no different than what these women was doing in the temple. That's no different than you in a relationship with a woman, right? And you got a side piece. That side piece leaves you, and you go back to the woman you're in a relationship with, crying on her shoulder about the other woman. Crazy work. And they in the temple, which is the Lord's building, his house, worshiping, mourning, and crying over a person that's dead that can't save them from nothing, that can't change their heart, that can't put food on their table, that can't, and they sitting there mourning over this God of agriculture and fertility. The same way a lot of us, right, that desire having kids, but now that desire done placed itself over Yahweh. And we notice that every time we open our mouth to pray, we praying for children. Oh God, yeah, oh God. See, the difference in us and Hannah is Hannah prayed to give back.
Yeah.
Most of us ain't praying to give nothing back to Yahweh. We just praying to get and then go do our own thing. And he said, a lot of things you be praying and asking for, I'm not going to give it to you because I know it'll be a distraction to our relationship. And before I let it be a distraction to our relationship, I'd rather you just not have it.
Come on.
So again, search your heart and ask yourself, why do I want this thing? Is this thing going to take my place or take Yahweh's place if it was given to me? If I really was given this godly relationship, would I put that over him? If I really was given a child to nurture and to care for, will I put that over him? That's what we got to search our heart and figure out our intentions behind this. So these women was mourning, all right? So then it says that they was brought into the inner court of the Lord's temple at the entrance of the sanctuary between the entry room and the bronze altar. There were about 25 men with their backs to the sanctuary of the Lord, and there was faced at ease, bowing to the ground, worshiping the sun. So now you got another 25 people with their back turned to the sanctuary, worshiping the sun god. Have you seen this? So this is God showing Ezekiel all of this stuff. But remember, they are in the spirit. So he's showing them the things that he sees that the people don't think he sees. So it's no different than us committing sin behind our privacy of our four walls, and then he grabbed Ezekiel and took him to our house and said, Ezekiel, look at what they're doing. This is the same thing, right? So then he said, it's nothing that the people of Judah that have committed these detestable sins. So he said, there's nothing to them. They just doing this crap and they don't feel no type of way about it. They disrespecting me, they violating me, they hurting me, they spitting in my face, they spitting on the face of my son because I sent him to die for. They doing all of this stuff and they don't even give a crap about it. There's nothing in their heart that makes them sorrowful about what they're doing. They have no conviction of their wrongdoing. They going to bed in it and they waking up in it and they living in it. They don't care. And then he said, leading the whole nation into the violence. So now he's talking about these leaders leading the whole nation into violence, thumbing their nose up at me, provoking my anger. Therefore, I will respond in fury. All right? I will neither pity or spare them. And although they cry out mercy, I will not listen. So again, when that time comes, and you caught with your pants down, unprepared, because you took the word of God for granted. Because you took your dash for granted. You can cry out, but he just told you, I will not listen. And I will have no pity. Because I gave you however many years of life, and with all of those years of life, you decided to disrespect me. You decided to spit in my face. You decided to spit in the face of my son that I sent. You decided to spit in the face of my messages that I sent, and you think I'm going to have pity on your cries? Go to hell.
My Lord.
That's what he said.
Come on. Jesus.
Go to hell. That's what he said. Because that's where he's going. Ultimate separation from him.
Yeah.
Right? So chapter 9. We're almost there, y'all. Chapter 9. Take a deep breath. We're almost there. Then the glory of God of Israel rose up and went between the cherubim, which is angels, where they had rested. And they moved into the entrance of the temple, and the Lord called the man dressed in a linen. He was dressed in linen, whom he was carrying a writer's case. A writer's case is kind of like a briefcase with a strap on it, and the inside of that briefcase, you got pencils, pens, paintings, paper, basically stuff that you can write on to keep an account of a thing. So here's this man in linen with a writer's case on. And he said to him, walk these streets of Jerusalem and put a mark on the foreheads of all who weep and sigh because of the detestable sins being committed in that city. So he said, the people who actually had a heart for me, the people who seen sin and they felt the way about it, the people who was going into prayer on behalf of their city and behalf of their family, go and put a marking on their forehead. That's what he said. Then he said, I heard the Lord say to the other men, right, follow him through the city. So there was the man with the writer's case, and then there was 6 other men armed with weapons of destruction. So that's a total of 7. He sent the men with the writer's case out first, put the marking on their head. Then he sent the 6 men with the weapons of destruction. And he told them, follow him through the city talking about the man with the writer's case, kill everyone whose forehead is not marked. Show no mercy, have no pity. Kill them all, old and young, girls and women, little children, everybody. Whoever don't got this mark, I don't care if they 4 years old, murk them. That's what he said.
Yeah.
I don't care if they 10. I don't care if they were just getting ready to go to the 6th grade. If they don't got that mark on their head, kill them. Oh, man. Kill them. So he said, and then he told them, do not touch anyone with the mark. But watch what he told them to start at. He said, begin right here in the temple. Start right here in the temple. You thought you were safe because you get to come here and pretend? He said, start right here in the temple. Kill them right here in the temple. So guess what? He murked all 70 of the leaders. Watch this. In the middle of their little ceremony, he killed them all. And then guess what? Them 25 that had their back turned, murdered. And guess what? All of the other Israelites that was doing what they wanted to do, knowing the word, and then watch this, knowing you got people that support you in the word and want you to grow in God and live a certain standard of God, and you just don't do what you want to do, he murdered them. And didn't care about it at all. Because you first didn't care.
Yeah.
You first didn't care. You first didn't care.
Teach us.
All right? So then we move it down. So then he said, the sins of the people of Israel and Judea are very, very great. The entire land is full of murder. So there was murder in the city, filled with injustice in the city. They're saying the Lord doesn't see it. The Lord has abandoned the land. Then the man in the linen cloth who carried the writer's case, he reported back to Yahweh, and guess what he said? I have done what you commanded. So that means if he done making the marks on the people, that means the other 6 men done murking everything. I've done what you commanded. That's why when stuff happen and these planes go down, boom, and it be everybody with their families, kids, people of high status, man, I just don't feel no type of way about it. Why? Because I have no idea why Yahweh designed each person to buy a ticket and land them on that plane that went down. He may have been dealing with their destruction of their sins. So who am I to sit up there and say, dear Heavenly Father, I hope they was going, I ain't got nothing to do with that. I don't know why God was dealing with them. Sort it back to him. So then we move on. This is chapter 10. No, this is in chapter 11. So this is a sweet one. So we're going to get to my work one, then we're done. Then the Spirit of the Lord, right, came upon me. And he told me, this is what the Lord says to the people of Israel. I know what you are saying, for I know every thought that comes into your mind. So the things you think y'all don't know that you think he already just told you, I know. So stop going before his presence acting as if you don't know. Come naked.
Yeah.
You don't have to be ashamed of the stuff that's in your heart. Let him know so he can deal with it. Because you rather him to deal with it than for you to keep holding on to it. And that same thing you desperately holding on is going to line you up for destruction. So just go ahead and come naked. Come clean. I know what's in your mind. So then, verse 12, and you will know that I am the Lord, for I have refused to obey my decrees and my regulations. Instead, you have copied the standards of the nation around you. You have copied the standards of the people around you, of the world, of the time, of what's trending, what's popular. You know you don't supposed to be wearing that stuff because you're supposed to be a living standard of Yahweh, but you just so desperately want to go buy the shorts that let both of your little cheeks hang out, but then that next day you want to come here and put the modest stuff on. Why? You are copying the standards of the nation. You know you're supposed to be respecting women and holding yourself accountable and having some self-discipline because that's one of the fruits of the Spirit, but then when you get out of there, you got to talk to everything that walks by. Why are you copying the standards of the nation and the people around you? Plug it in for whatever you're dealing with.
Yeah.
When the people return to that, so this is the word description, verses 18 through 21. So watch this. So you understood all of that stuff. You understand that you will be destroyed for your sin. You will be destroyed for your idolatry. You will be destroyed for your immoral acts. You will be destroyed for your disobedience, your disrespect. You will be destroyed. We see that. And it's going to be a harsh destruction. And no one will be saved except the people that's living for Yahweh, right? So when you return, so basically they was exiles in Babylon, but Yahweh is giving them their homeland back again. So he's doing it again, grace and mercy. But I keep telling y'all, grace gonna send some of y'all to hell.
Come on.
Not because something is wrong with grace, but because something is wrong with you.
Yeah.
Because you think grace is a permission slip for you to sin.
Right.
And grace is not a permission slip for you to sin. It's a difference from pursuing a relationship with Yahweh and fumbling sometimes versus committing sin because you have a desire and you love to do it.
Yeah.
Those are two different things.
Yeah.
Yahweh is not sitting there saying, I'm just giving my child time while they just do what the heck they want to do. That is not how grace works.
Come on, Fonzo.
Right? So then he say, so when the people return to their homeland, they will remove every trace of their vile images and detestable idols. That means there is work that you got to do. You know where them things headed at. You know what your idols is. You know what your things is. So you need to go to those things and you need to remove them. Every trace that's there, remove it. Every single trace, remove it. And I will give you a singleness of heart and put in you a new spirit. So that means the spirit that you have right now is a desire of your own. Because Yahweh don't desire things that go against him. So the desires that you have, we already know that the word says that you give birth to that stuff and that stuff becomes sin. And we know the wages of sin is death. So these are your desires. These ain't Yahweh desires. So all of these things that you desire, right, you need to pull them out and I'm going to give you a singleness of heart. Meaning there is not going to be anything else that come above me because I have given you a singleness of heart to worship, to respect, to fear, and to honor me. Right? And I will put my spirit in the inside of you. Remove this spirit that you have of the world and I will put my spirit in you. I will take away their stony and stubborn heart. So that heart that you got right now that rejects the words, that rejects this message or any other message that you've heard in the past, that stony heart that the seed landed on and the sun came and scorched it up because it didn't take root. Yeah, that same heart, I'm going to break that away. And then that stubborn part of your life that understand the word, that know it, but you just for some reason don't want to live it because you want to do your own thing. Yeah, that stubborn part, I'm going to get rid of that as well. And then I'm going to give you a tender heart, which means now you're going to be vulnerable. Which means when you see wrongdoing, you're going to feel away now. Which means when you do wrongdoing, you're going to feel away now. My daughter came to me the other day crying, boo-hoo crying. I thought something was seriously wrong with her. She said, I'm sorry for being disrespectful. And we hadn't even went through nothing that day. But watch this. I've been praying for the last 3 months that God reveal yourself to my daughter. Meet her where she's at. Bring her your spirit at a level to where she can understand. Because I have an understanding that she too can go to hell. She's not exempt. So God, meet her where she convict her heart of the things that she do wrong. Protect her in ways that I can't. Teach her in ways that I can't. So when she came to me in that state, I just laughed at her. I laughed at her because I knew Yahweh had answered her prayer. So I told him, continue to convict her heart. Continue to reveal yourself to her, right? So he said, I'm going to give you a tender and a responsive heart. So now you can respond better. You can act better. You can be better because now you have a tender, responsive heart. So now now you can come to transformation and hear the word and actually it'll take root and then a little fruit will start to grow. And then when you keep coming here every Sunday, eventually you will stop wanting to sit there. You will start to want to do something in here. You will start to want to help out and be committed and ask what needs to be done and how can I help? How can I serve? What can I do? What can I become? Your heart will become responsive and tender. So I'm going to get rid of the stony, stubborn heart. The stubborn heart that want to continue to do stuff the way it's always been done. That heart, I'm going to get rid of it. We have to remember, he said that these are the grandkids of the grandfathers of the people that I did not let into the land. So we see a pattern of this. He said eventually you'll come here and receive the messages. Receive the teachings. Right? So then he said, so they will obey my decrees and regulations. Then they will be my true people. So then, after all of that, then you will be my people. Then I will be their God. Watch this. But for the people who long for their vile images and detestable idols, I will repay them with their fully for their sins. I am the sovereign Lord, and I have spoken. So, after all of that has been said, if you still choose to love stuff and put stuff over him and live a way that you know just don't go with his standard, cool. I'm tired of talking.
Yeah.
I'm going to just deal with you 100% with what you got going on.
Yeah.
Yep.
My Lord.
You don't want to listen. You want to keep, playing the field. Cool. One of them beautiful things that you so desperately want, I'm going to pack them up with HIV/AIDS.
My Lord.
And I'm going to let you put your Willis in there. And then you're going to have to live with that destruction for the rest of your life until you physically die.
My God. Help us, Lord.
Just don't even play with them.
Come on.
You want to just keep going to them places? Okay, cool. How about you're going to die in a car wreck before you get there? Since you premeditated going to do something that just totally... See, what happened if you started dealing with us right in the moment of our stuff?
Come on.
Sudden and immediate. But again, watch this. That G word, man, that grace done makes you think you can just do it and it'll be all right tomorrow. Tomorrow might not come. Oh, man. So then at the very end, it says, after the spirit of Yahweh carried me back to Babylon. So now he was in Jerusalem in the spirit. So the spirit took him back to Babylon where all the exiles at. And he said to the people in exile there, and so it ended the vision. My visit to Jerusalem was over. And I told the exiles everything the Lord has shown me. This is the word of Yah for the people of Yah.
Yeah.